What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another video. In this one, I wanted to talk on a character introduction that is my favorite. Now, I know, but before you say, "Oh, Jacob, another Robbie video," I saw that comment on one of my other videos. I don't think I've talked about Robbie so much in a long time. Like, I think I've been pretty fair. I've spoken on other characters, and I have a plethora of videos lined up regarding Miguel, regarding Hawk, Johnny, potentially Julie, Chosen, all of that jazz. But I just wanted to talk on why Robbie's introduction is my favorite out of all the characters. Now, when I say out of all of them, I mean of the newer generation, the newer cast. The way Tory is introduced, it's cool. It's sort of like, oh, there's a badass female in Cobra Kai now. And obviously, we all knew from the minute she was introduced and her having a playful fight with Miguel, we're like, okay, Robbie's with Sam, yeah, Tory and Miguel, yeah, that's going to be the thing. But it was a cool introduction. Miguel's introduction into the franchise is literally reminiscent of Daniel from the Karate Kid movie, but with a different spin on it. Which isn't a bad thing. It was done beautifully. It wasn't like it was just shoehorned in. It felt earned. It felt organic. It felt right. Dimitri's introduction and Hawk's introduction. Well, Hawk's reintroduction is my favorite reintroduction. But the introductions to Eli and Dimitri, the bookworms, the nerds, we've seen that kind of done quite a lot before. But what I think makes Robbie's introduction so unique is the fact that before this show started, I didn't really know too much about who Robbie was. I had no clue. All I knew was that he was just a new character coming in, looked like a product of the 90s, and I was like, okay, maybe he's, if you'd have asked me around season 1, before I'd seen season 1, that is, who would be in Cobra Kai, I would have said Robbie, 100%. From the minute he's introduced, right, and not the introduction where, the principal's calling Johnny and saying that they found him with Molly. I'm talking specifically about the scene where he's in Tech Town and he's, working a job undercover to basically walk away with, customers' items and then let Eduardo take the blame for it. This kind of stuff is why in Season 3, he's the one to grab the snake and go on the little adventure of sneaking into the zoo, because this is how we started. This is where Robbie was at before Miyagi-Do changed his entire character outlook on life and his perspective. And this is why he's one of my favorite characters in the show, because not only is he a badass, but he's supposed to be an evil dude, yet he fights for the good guys. That was always sick to me. It was like, oh, fine, cool, something different, because he's not a goody-goody two-shoes all the time. He has, deep-seated conflict. He has problems within himself. He has desires. He has hatred, especially towards Johnny, his father. And what is so perfect about his introduction here is this is in the episode after Miguel gets his ass handed to him at the Halloween dance. So once, Johnny's dojo is basically looking like it's going to close, there's no students, Johnny starts to really put more time into Robbie. And this is where it begins. The cycle of choosing between Robbie and Miguel begins. Now, obviously, post-Season 4, I don't think Johnny's going to have this problem. I think whatever happens in Season 4 is going to plant a seed where Robbie goes back home. He's going to be with Johnny on the same page. It's going to be an emotional moment, and I just can't... the minute Johnny and Robbie are together, I swear, everyone is going to shed a tear, because if you enjoyed Hawk's redemption, Robbie's is going to be even sweeter, because his redemption has been building from the start of the show, the whole beginning. Now, you could say, well, he was in Miyagi-Do. He didn't need to be redeemed. Not necessarily for that, but redeemed in the sense of Johnny and Robbie, them two coming together. They've always been on opposite sides, and Johnny is his enemy. For all intents and purposes, Kreese has made Robbie believe that Johnny is his enemy. And it's paid full circle by the end of Season 3, as we saw. But if you were to watch just Season 1 of Cobra Kai, right, if you were to really sort of put the characters in dojos, you'd put, if I'm being completely honest, I think Miguel fits Miyagi-Do a little bit better. He has that natural Cobra in him. He has that aggression. He has that drive. He has that force. But Robbie has that Cobra ability that someone like Kreese always looked for. He has that sort of punk rock kind of bad boy vibe where he'll be up for doing naughty things, and he's similar. This is how he relates to Tory, because they come from a similar sort of background where they've had to fend for themselves for so long. And I really hope Season 4 explores that for Tory. But a lot of Robbie's story is due to the fact that he never had his father in his life, and his mother was always, you know, shacking up with dudes every other night. He had no one to guide him, so when he met Daniel, Daniel showed him a better path and showed him the way. That's why, obviously, when the redemption happens for Robbie, it's going to be a powerful moment, and I can't wait for it. Honestly, I can't wait for it. And I know some people may not like to hear this, but, you know, I genuinely think Robbie is one of the best characters in the show. And I want him to win. I want him to win the All Valley, because I feel like it's been building towards it. But him winning the All Valley isn't a bad thing. It doesn't mean that Miguel has to lose in such a dramatic way. Miguel can go out, you know, he can go out fighting. But I really want Robbie to pull the victory, because it would serve so much narratively. But on the introduction, just the introduction of his character alone, we really get a look at who he is. Now, obviously, as I said, in the scene where he's with the principal and he, you know, she calls up Johnny and he basically tells Johnny to go away. As far as we know, that's just Johnny Lawrence's son. This is Robbie Keene. This is who Robbie is. This is who he's about. This is what an insight into what he's been up to for 16, 17 years of his life. You know, doing all this dodgy shtick where he's getting laptops, stealing them from people, selling them to 3 separate buyers, giving them to one buyer and getting half the money from the other 2 and screwing the other 2 over. You know, that kind of stuff. And this is why I would love a scene in Season 4 where Robbie's Hawk moment, you know when Hawk goes absolutely ballistic on Brooks? I would love Robbie to have a similar moment to where he goes absolutely berserk on Trey and Cruz. And I think that will be his Brooks moment, where he gets that anger and rage out of him. And then he reminds himself, he remembers that even though Johnny wasn't there, even though his mum wasn't there, and even though these 2 may have been a bit of a bad influence, well, I mean, not a bit, they've been a bad influence on him, they were there. They were there, up until a certain point when they threatened to kill him. And you could argue, maybe were they threatening him before, or is it peer pressure, or what have you. But I feel like a scene between these 3 is definitely needed down the line, because I think Season 1 planted it when Robbie refused to let them into the dealership, showing how far he'd come with his Miyagi-Do training. And then in Season 2, when he's at the beach, he was about to take both of them on until the third guy, you know, the third random guy came and blindsided him out of nowhere. And then Johnny and Daniel visited them in the prison space. So I am hoping down the line he gets another interaction with these 2, especially because they represent a part of himself that he is now back to. He is back to this Robbie. If you look at the Robbie in the first 4 or 5 episodes, this is the Robbie you're gonna get in Season 4. It's this sort of edgy, punk rock teenager, badass, you know, bad boy type, where he's sort of like a Mike Barnes regen, if you will. This is the Robbie you're going to get. He's going to be fully on board with this kind of approach, but he has the Miyagi-Do within him, and that's going to be his arc in Season 4 and the conflict. And this video has gone on a lot longer than I intended, but this was mostly just me covering his introduction, how it ties to the rest of the show, how it relates to the rest of the show, and how the rest of the show will come full circle with this entire scene, right? This entire scene of where he plays off, he reminds me a lot of Terry Silver, where Terry Silver in Karate Kid 3 would charm Daniel. He would be like this nice guy, this kind person, and as soon as their backs turned, he would be smiling and smirking. The same way with the laptop here, while he's pretending to fix it with the guy, he's being genuine, he's being authentic, and as soon as the guy walks out, my favourite moment is when Robbie smiles, just the transition of the cheeky smile of, I got you. And then the score plays. Can someone tell me the score of this scene? Because it is absolutely, it's brilliant. I love it. Just let me know down in the comment section below if you know the scene score. But honestly, it was just brilliant. The way it was done and the transition, you know, and as I said before, after watching Season 1, I didn't like Robbie at all. I thought Robbie was just literally there to be the opposite to Miguel, and that was that. But now that, you know, I've had time, you know, in Season 2 and everything, Robbie has really climbed the character rankings, and I think he will have the best arc across the show, because his character has the most layers and the most depth. He's the most unique to me. You know, you can make Hawk more badass, Miguel is the champion, he is the new Karate Kid, Dimitri is the underdog, but who's Robbie? And that's the point, you don't know. You don't know what there's something about Robbie. I've said it before. You don't know what you're gonna get. One day you may get badass Robbie. Next day you may get homeless Robbie, and the next day you may get, you know, sobby Robbie. You know, there's always a different layer to his character that's being unfolded each and every episode of each and every season, and we peel back a layer and discover something new about his character. And I feel like people have thrown this at me. Will he redeem and die? No, guys, I've said it before. It's Karate Kid. It's not Star Wars. It's not Marvel. It's not DC. It's Karate Kid. It's a much more simple formula. So yes, Robbie will go back to Daniel and Johnny down the line. But I think for now, he's going to be fully on board with Kreese. And I think his arc ties into Kreese's arc. This is why he will have the best arc. He ties straight into what Kreese is going to have to go through. But guys and girls, leave your comments section down below. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of his introduction. Which character introduction is your favorite? Of the newer characters, may I add. It's not my favorite of the original characters. I think my favorite introduction of the original characters has probably got to be Johnny, just because it was just so simple, so elegant. Nothing to, oh my god, it's Johnny. It was just like, oh, it's Johnny. But of the newer characters, Robbie's is definitely my favorite. It sticks out compared to the rest. With Miguel, you know he's going to be the next Karate Kid. With Dimitri and Hawk, you know they're going to go on a journey and become badass eventually. And then with Tory, you knew she was going to be bad to the bone. But with Robbie's, it was unpredictable. Like, you didn't know where he was going to end up. And he is, in my opinion, the most natural Cobra on the show. The most natural Cobra. Miguel fits Cobra Kai, Hawk fits Cobra Kai, but if we're picking one above everyone that naturally just fits, it's Robbie. As I said, there's not one student in Kreese's dojo right now that doesn't fit Kreese's Cobra Kai. Kyler fits perfectly. You can argue the merits of how he fares against people like Miguel or Hawk. They would cream him, but what you can't deny is that for people like Chris, Mitch, or Dimitri, Kyler is a threat. Tory is a major threat to Sam, and Robbie is a major threat to Miguel and Hawk. So it goes hand in hand, and it's perfect. It's perfect. So I said everyone that's in Cobra Kai right now is everyone who Kreese would prefer. I think he would still like Hawk over there because he can use Hawk to his advantage. He can use Hawk's weaknesses against him and get what he wants, the same way he did in Season 2. But anyway, guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. And yeah, you know, I love his introduction in Season 1. I think it was done so well. And I just want to clarify one more time. His introduction, I know he was introduced before that, where Johnny and him spoke on the phone and he basically told Johnny to go away. That was, to me, that was the introduction of Johnny's son. This was the introduction to Robbie. We get to see who Robbie is, what he's about, what's he doing with himself, and where is he going. And he has the charm and wit of Johnny. He has the charm, the wit, the heartbreaker attitude. You know, he has it all. He's exactly like Johnny. Exactly. But how much will he go down the path of Kreese's Cobra Kai? And maybe now with Silver in the mix, could that make him worse? I mean, who knows? Who knows? Robbie is the Anakin of the show. So we'll have to just wait and see. Guys and girls, I'll see you in another video soon, and thanks, Eddie. We'll get you your cut.